An interesting practice session there then. Let's remind ourselves of the top...
All clear the garage, please. Car ready to leave. We'll start going over the data. conditions to remain dry for a while. We will update you if the outlook changes. There's 4 laps of fuel remaining. So far, our fastest lap is a 1:31.9.
Quick look at the classification at the end of the session then. Here are your top 3. A Force India, Verstappen and Nico Rosberg.
Hey, looks like you've got a bit of rivalry going on out there. This is good. Gets people talking about you. Just make sure you outperform them, okay? Hi, just letting you know that we've had the team's expectations through for the upcoming qualifying session.
Welcome to Melbourne, where qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix should be getting underway shortly. It always looked like the kind of track that asks an awful lot of the rear tyres, such as the frequency of low-speed exits.
Lots of low-speed exits means the rears are in for a lot of punishment. It's all too easy to spin them up coming out of a corner too aggressively. It might look great for us as spectators, as we love to see a car driven beyond its limits, but it's not going to result in a great long-run pace.
The grid is all set then for the race tomorrow. But before we go, let's quickly remind ourselves of our top...
Hey, how are you? I have some information on the race goals you should keep in mind.
The atmosphere is heavy with expectation and anticipation, and bearing the weight of that burden today is a place we know very well indeed. It's Albert Park. The story of the season begins here then with the Australian Grand Prix, and it's time for the first chapter to be written. We go racing today then in the state of Victoria, where the drivers have 16 corners and 3.3 miles to navigate at an average lap speed of around 120 miles an hour. The close proximity of the barriers makes accidents inevitable, and recent history shows us that a safety car is not at all out of the question. I'm joined today in the commentary box, as I will be throughout this season, by a great racing driver, former F1 competitor, man who was world champion once upon a time as well, and an all-round top chap. It's the one and only Anthony Davidson. And tell me, here we are, first Grand Prix of the season, the first time racing these cars. So what are the big questions that need to be answered here, in your view?
First of all, Crofty, and thanks for the glowing introduction, I just want to say it's a real privilege to be here, and I can't wait to see what this competitive field has in store for us this season. Now, to answer your question, obviously there's the question of performance in race trim, but really this is going to be all about reliability. It's the first Grand Prix of the season, don't forget. You're pushing all your new components to their limits. Formula One cars are full of very sophisticated but also very sensitive technology. So the most important thing today is to get to the end of the race, keep everything in good condition and try to stay out of trouble while you're at it.
Great start to the season. Let's convert this pole into a win.
Well then, after an exciting qualifying session yesterday, let's take a look at how the cars line up. It's Force India in pole position then, with Nico Rosberg alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Vettel, Daniel Ricciardo, and Raikkonen, Verstappen, Bottas, Button, and Fernando Alonso. Massa, Hülkenberg, Romain Grosjean, and Sainz, Gutierrez, Kvyat, Pascal Wehrlein, and Marcus Ericsson, Magnussen, and Harry Anto. Jolyon Palmer and Felipe Nasser starts from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
want some information on Massa? It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car. Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available. Cede that position or will receive a penalty. So, This is your final lap of the race.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows.